Honourable members, we have quorum. Member for North East will lead us in prayer.
You may pray. Thank you, Heavenly Father. Beautiful morning sweat. Me black Kamla Disla Parliament. Before me black Kamla, you yet feeding me black good law Kai Kai. This morning. Me black Kamla yellow walking business law people blowing blood this country. Out of 10 to 12 million people you had selected me black 118 Kamla Disla Parliament. Law you know walking one law business that's all business blown blah long. Walking law now bring goods and services to go line blue me long. District na rural areas. As me black Kamla Disla house. You must give him blood wisdom. Give him blood direction. So that me blood behind him, now me blood can make him law, now bring him all service to go along, area blah blah. As me blood come to this house, you can press him, Prime Minister, bless him, Deputy, bless him, opposition leader, Speaker, so that me blood can debate all good or something. And I ask him question, he go come. Now talk strong, he go come. But for the good of this country. As me black go through long, this la meeting, you had to come stop na me long black, guide him me black. Now bring him wisdom, come na me long me black. Today, na golsen. You yet lining me black of prayer, you. Our Father, who art in heaven,
Hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come. Be done as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Give us not what power and glory forever and ever. Amen. Clerk, any petitions? Notices? Honourable members, we will have 45 minutes question time. Before I open the floor for a question time, let me, from the chair, like to inform all members that we only have 45 minutes in asking questions. So, any of you that are given privilege to ask questions, please, if you have a background to your question, you make the background of the question be short so that you get to the point. And at the same time, the ministers that are responding to the questions, make your statement short so that we have enough time for much members to ask questions. Now, question time. The Honourable Member for Suave.
The people of Suave, my question without notice goes to the Honourable Prime Minister. Deputy Speaker, recently I've called for the Prime Minister to publicly publish the expenditure reports on how the historic 28 billion Kina 2025 budget has been disbursed. Now, Mr. Deputy Speaker, every time we come into Parliament, the Prime Minister proudly states that the Marape government is an equitable government in giving DSIP and PSIP to all districts and provinces fairly. Now, all honourable members, through you, Mr. Deputy Speaker, must be aware that DSIP and PSIP appropriation for 2025 only takes up 5.2% of the total 28 billion Kina budget. 1.6 billion under the Connect PNG Act 2021 comprises 1.6 billion Kina of the 2025 historic budget. Now, for Suave, Mr. Deputy Speaker, we haven't received full DSIP appropriation. We haven't received any funding under Connect PNG. Now, from my calculations, if we're talking about equity, which is fairness and respect for all districts and provinces throughout the country, each district should have received at least 15 million kina in road funding, Mr. Deputy Speaker. So my question to the Honourable Prime Minister is, when is he going to publish the expenditure reports to clearly demonstrate to the people of Papua New Guinea, through their elected representatives on the floor of Parliament, how much the districts received from the full 28 billion kina 2025 historic budget, Mr. Speaker? I want the exact date of when these reports will be made public. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
The Honourable Prime Minister.
All right, thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. Thank you, Member of Suave, for asking this important question. Firstly, long budget, me like talk less clear, and it's a good question for those who want to understand government disbursements. The last few years, in fact, almost all yearly the disbursements of government budgets, start long Treasury website business. Suppose you find out how you be using public funds, law 2024, 23, all the way back to, I think, 2010. Every year, there's a final budget outcome website in Treasury for the public and anyone who wants to know how government did spend. You can access that website. I think it's called www.treasury.gov.pg, and you ask final budget outcome. You can be able to pick out exactly the scale of government spent in as far as delivery on every budget year commitment and is concerned. But more specifically to his question on 2025 budgets, we are still tracking as we speak. This budget's final outcome report published next year, the country will be able to know exactly where the spend has taken place. I want to also give him full assurance. This year, for instance, Suave would have received up till now for DSIP 8 million kina. And if it is behind, we are a fair government. Every district entitled to DSIP. In fact, something we are proposing on this side. For next year, we make relevant constitutional amendments to make sure there's a minimum allocation to all districts and provinces in as far as service funds are concerned, so that it is not up to discretion of the Treasury or the government of the day, but there must be a minimum allocation benchmark for all districts and all provinces in our country. That's something we want to do for next year. But for this year, Suave district is rest assured. Just like last year, I would have assumed full 10 million DSIP would have been transferred. I lived as finance minister under the previous administration where never did we fully send all DSIP to any district at any one time in the past. But last year, Suave would have received full 10 million as much as Tari would have received. I stand to be corrected. If I'm wrong, then I'll correct myself. But my records tell me last year 10 million. This year, we are tracking on average at 80% transfer to the services, to the districts and to the province in as far as services improvement program fund is concerned. So if Tari is receiving 8 million around this time of the year and Suave receiving 8 million around this time of the year, I don't know what is a better description of fairness.
Honourable Member, what's your point of order?
This boils to the crux of my question, Deputy Speaker. I understand that DSIP is only one component of the total 28 billion kina budget. We have 39 ministers in cabinet. Each have received an appropriation to run government programs, and we have not seen any minister providing budget support to districts for these programs that they're meant to run. Hence why we're asking for a detailed publicly publish the expenditure report so that we can know what companies received funding through the Connect PNG program when districts are receiving 8 million and 10 million, and we've got companies receiving over 50, 100, 200 million kina in funding. There is no equity in this, Mr. Deputy Speaker.
Honourable Member, your point of order is in order, but I think the Prime Minister is responding on that, so I'll allow the Prime Minister to conclude on the reply. Prime Minister.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, me clear some member of Suave very anxious look sim answer. It cares to allow me to complete. Maybe the full answer was still coming out, but sometimes interjections are good, but sometimes it pays to be patient in life and allow the full answers to come out. Patience will get you a long way, not impatience. Mr. Deputy Speaker. Me like Dr. Logan long a full report. Whether it's Connect PNG, by the way, Connect PNG independent audit. If it is not Deloitte, then one of the big audit firms, is now having a full look into the Connect PNG program. There were questions from the other side claiming one company got 700 million kina. False. 700 million kina is the entire budget of Connect PNG for 1 year, for goodness sake. And on record, no one company picked up 700 million kina total from Connect PNG allocations. So sometimes to the listening public, to those who care to listen to lies permeated in the public space, look at record good na talk. Record and public, transparent. The opposition, I beg your pardon, the member for Suave is very much welcome to go into Works Department and ask for the records. It's there for public to see. Say for public to see. Just go into Works Department and Works Minister, receive him as your guest and go through all the list. There's nothing secret in that place. If something is wrong out there, James Marape, is the first person to stand up in defense of wrong that takes place in our country. That's the reason why I left the previous government in 2019. And I want to say, in the name of fairness, national government runs program. Next year, when final budget outcome, this year we are still running. It's tracking to December 31st, 2025. When December 31st, 2025 is complete, this question is maybe more relevant in the first parliament sitting of next year. But for the benefit of the member of Suave, which is a fair question, he wants to know where the disbursement is taking place. Through this question, I think this is a second sort of question in this same line of thought. I asked the finance minister who's sitting inside, finance secretary, it is only fair that you get the full publication out for the country to know where the disbursements are happening in sector by sector, department by department, and district and provinces. And only when it comes out to the people of Suave, every district is receiving 10 million as we received last year and previous year. For this year, again, under DSIP label, every district is receiving similar amount of money. To the people of Suave, Tari has received this year 8 million so far. My own district, Suave district, has received this year 8 million so far. And so, Tari, hold me to account. Suave, hold your member to account for the work we're doing. I want to say to other roads, to the people of Suave, Fani Yufa, Siana LLG, my good governor and my good member, me plan of forgetting me plan. We're going to have kiss 5 million or 10 million or liquid work. 3 years ago, we started the Fani Yufa, Ungai, Fani Yufa, Siana Road. Come to Elimbari, Nabakamadlo, Suave as an alternate bypass. There has been program also in the ADB to address this important bypass. Should anything happen at Daulo, that bypass should allow travel from Isnaras into Suave into Upper Highland. So just because you're the opposite side doesn't mean I don't love Suave people. They're my people as much as they're your people. I'm the Prime Minister as much as you are the member. So to the best of whatever fund is available, we will try to make sure people of Siane and that part of our country also does get saved. So, but remember, you have a right to ask these questions and ask with the context of national progress and not national sabotage.
The Honourable Member for Talasia.
Speaker, my question without notice directed to the Minister for Civil Aviation. In 1st of May this year, there was a launching of the Carib 2 program by NIC and the National Asian Development Bank for the redevelopment of the Oskins Airport at a cost of 51 million. Mr. Speaker, I want to acknowledge the Prime Minister and the Minister for Civil Aviation and the development partners for recognizing Oskins as a priority for redevelopment. West Britain is one of the major economic contributors to the national economy in terms of oil palm, cocoa, copra, and agriculture activities. The upgrading of the terminal is long overdue, and I express my appreciation for the proposed development that is currently taking place. Mr. Deputy Speaker, according to the NAC redevelopment plan, the upgraded components include asphalt overlay and pavement repairs to extend the runway lifespan by 15 to 20 years, terminal refurbishment to improve security and passenger cargo processing, airfield ground lighting for improved visibility during night operations, and a 60-meter runway extension to safely accommodate jets aircraft such as Boeing 737 and A32. Mr. Speaker, while these developments are welcome, there is no clear indication in the NAC presentation regarding a long-standing fire service issue at Hoskins Airport. The Public Accounts Committee report of 2023 highlighted serious concern about the absence of a fully functional fire service, a fundamental safety requirement under the International Civil Aviation Standards. Mr. Speaker, my questions to the Minister are: 1. Can the Minister confirm whether the upgrade and redevelopment plans for Hoskins Airport include the installation, upgrading, or restoration of a compliant fire and rescue service? Because from the NAC upgrading plans, this critical component appears not to be captured in the proposed development plan. The second question is, if the fire service component is not included in the current project scope, can the Minister inform this Honourable House when the National Airport Corporation intends to address this urgent safety requirement and whether funding has been allocated to it? Question number 3, can the Minister further assure the people of West New Britain Province that Hoskins Airport will be upgraded to meet full international aviation safety compliance, including fire category standards, before the project is completed? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Minister for Civil Aviation.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker, and thank you, Honourable Member Bilong Talasia, and also our Chairman, PIC. I would like to thank you for these very important questions. It also applies across the airports that we have around the country. But under this current Hoskins project, there's no fire station or fire truck component in that 51 million project contract agreement that has been signed. Only fire protection within the terminal building and the water pressure that is ready to, flush out ashes from the eruption, as well as in any emergency, can be sprayed to the aircraft. But the NAC has approved about 20 million for some fire trucks. With this, I think under the TSSP and Australian government procuring process, are in process of getting about 3 fire trucks at a cost of 11 million. And this will directly save Port Moresby and Lae, and the current fire trucks that are used in these 2 places could be shifted to new locations or new airports that are due for, are in need of these fire trucks. So, into the future, in maybe less than 2 years, 3 years, I think we should have at least have enough fire trucks and water and any other that can, be used in emergency cases will be installed. But at the moment, I don't get blame. The procurement and the other process has been done ahead of me. So we go by this way, but into the future, we'll build all this into the new projects. Maybe in Cardiff 3, we will look into this. Thank you.
We have supplementary from the member for Goilala.
Mr. Speaker, with the greatest respect, I want to ask a question to the same Minister for Civil Aviation, but a supplementary question. But it's not in Western Butte, it's in Central Province, and that is in Goilala. We support the efforts by our development partners in the country, and it's a good music to our ears, but to translate into reality in some of the districts, we don't see it. But yet we are suffocated by the many loans and everything that we get. And these are not seen in reality in some districts and provinces as we see. But for the first time, thank you for the Cardiff program that is also taking place in Goilala in Tapini Airstrip. Background of what we do in Goilala, for the interest of many, in Goilala we do all our transportation by plane and chopper. Thank you very much to those companies that provide plane and chopper services to do our programs.
Member,
no, I'm getting there, Mr. Speaker.
Sorry for interrupting you. If you will be asking a question on supplementary, it must be a supplementary question related to what the honourable member of Thalasia have raised on the airport of Hoskins. And that supplementary must be about airport in Hoskins. If you will take it to your airstrip in Goilala, that is a new question altogether.
Thank you, Mr.
I'm
Mr.
just
Speaker.
reminding you, don't use supplementary to ask new questions. I already given you the floor, so I'll allow you to complete your question to the Minister.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker, for the leave to give to continue my question. We do everything by chopper and company, and we want to thank those service providers that help us to do those. It's a very costly exercise, and at the moment, those companies are third-level airlines, and their chopper companies, most of them are owned by locals. They cannot sustain. So that frustrates or impresses or puts pressure on our people, whether us as DDAs or people or companies that we also engage to do our work in the district. One way forward, Mr. Speaker, is the Cardiff program. So if in the event that that Cardiff program is up and running, it will leverage most of our process. And in doing so, we can have Dash 7s and Dash 8s going into Goilala. So that cuts our problems. Because we're having problem with our roads. We cannot get any help from anywhere.
Honourable Member, make your question.
My question is, one in time straight. This is a Cardiff program here, Goilala, one plus time that's all. Government will give looks away Goilala people through that foreign assistance program. And it's under ADB. And for the first time now, thank you, government. Login this program for the first time. Underneath the ADB law program no tapini. One in time straight. Government by giving workload this project na project but start so that by easy make it easy. Lo people blow nipla outside and stop close to straight. But yet so far, low working workload people. Thank you too much.
The Honourable Minister of Civil Aviation.
Thank you, Member for Goilala. Yes, me clearly asking below you. You know, it's my priority. Time boat, come up yet na me delay league. Boat was sworn in Friday last week, and I think in my speech, maybe these media people never put it things in there. It's my priority that Finsapen, Goilala, and we work should be done before end of this month. Now, yesterday I talked to chairman that it must be done before this month. So, brother, me mamblo walk. But brother, me winning you. Because Jimmy and Molkata airstrips and they're operating. Now, network am operating. Let's concentrate on our electorate. Now, you mean again, number. So, all by walking, tender and everything completed. It's just that all by finishing now, give him a sign and by go. But this process, long process likely. Now look at 3, and Mibla cut him NAC by sim or less strips on board now. Put him tender now, display Mibla lose him. Give us 50 or 100 million straight to RAA so that they can implement and ADB and the NAC technical people only visit the airports that are in the priority list now, or working supervision task. And this way we go much faster than you may go through lot tendering now all this plan. So you by looking maybe before end of the month, me like him, we work come number 1, now Guaylala Pinsapen, Tubla 2A na 2B. Thank you.
The Honourable Opposition Leader.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Me sanaplo attracting attention lo you lo come lo this side to salam right you see me finish. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, Deputy Speaker. Sorry. Question blame me go Prime Minister. Good Prime Minister blame me. Prime Minister, there is a Deputy Speaker. Normally when I stand up, I try to ask questions regarding our country, Papua New Guinea. But today I'll concentrate my question to the beautiful island of Good enough. Prime Minister, on the 5th of October this year, we had the Good enough Island had a visit from the mining department to the mining warden's hearing on probable sites of mining exploration on Good enough Island. Mr. Speaker, Deputy Speaker, as we all know, Good enough Island is a tiny little dot in the Pacific, situated in Milne Bay Province. However, it has attracted the mining warden's attention and the mining department's attention to send a group of technical officers from the Department of Mining to go around and immediately carry out mining wardens' meetings on the island. Let me, for the interest of this House and for the interest of my people back in the electorate, say that when the mining wardens' hearing was conducted on Good enough Island, they established that almost 80% of that island sits on gold. And what worries me, Mr. Deputy Speaker, is that the content of gold on the island is 88%. And with that finding last year, it has attracted a lot of interest. And very recently, me reading through the papers and through social media, I see that Deputy Prime Minister, you have taken a very strong stand on foreigners coming and walking in and doing whatever they want in our nation. And on the island, we have actually caught 2 groups going in and doing illegal mining. And with the attention of mining wardens to the island, it really concerns me in that 80% of that island, and I have the map right here on my phone, showing that 80% of Good enough Island contains very rich deposits of gold. And we have mining wardens going in there for what? I have 30,000 plus people who reside on that island, who inhabit that island, who've been living on that island for thousands of years. People who have survived and thrived with simple agriculture, subsistent agriculture. Mr. Speaker, what worries me is when these mining wardens from the mining department
go down to the island or to Milne Bay province, they hardly advise government officials in the district that they'll be visiting the districts. And Mr. Speaker, my questions are that through you, Mr. Speaker, to the Prime Minister, because I believe we are yet to have a mining minister, is that can those departments, regardless whichever department, visiting our districts, please have the courtesy to advise our officials that you be visiting our districts. Number two, when it comes to mining matters, our people live in isolated areas. They need to be advised in advance before mining wardens get into the district, so that they come in and be heard. That is not happening, Mr. Speaker. When can the mining department use their common sense and begin to advise our officials on the ground and landowners before they get to the districts? Number two, what is the secrecy here about these meetings that they cannot advise the districts, more so the landowners, before they get down there for these meetings? Because the meeting that went down was hijacked, and they made some very bold decisions that mining should get down there, that they will be sending explorers down there. And it did happen in Alotau, in the Bow Divinai area, and I did question the minister on this floor. I was assured of an answer. I am yet to receive an answer on that. Number three, why this insurgency by this particular department into my district? I am here in Port Moresby. I attend parliaments. Why not advise me before you visit my district? If you displace my people on the island, where will you put them? These 30,000 plus people, if you displace them from Good Enough, where will you go and put them? Where will you accommodate them? Finally, Mr. Speaker, before me finish, Good Enough currently is enjoying the benefit of cocoa development on the island. Our people are economically enjoying the viability of agriculture. You cannot just go out there and mine the whole island, 80% of the island, and leave our people stranded on their traditional customary land. Again, Mr. Speaker, I would like to put it to this House that there are many uninhabited areas here in Papua New Guinea that contain gold. Why you play less low? Kisimo go mining area bloipla, exploring all areas bloipla. Now you go exploring all area where people have enjoyed the benefits of their land for long time. Now all of a sudden you get people, mining wardens, to go in there and conduct meetings that will affect the livelihood of our traditional landowners and the flora and fauna. There are beautiful rivers there that will be destroyed. And so, Mr. Speaker, I want some assurance from the Prime Minister that our people of Good Enough will be given a fair representation, and our people of Good Enough will, mining will not destroy that beautiful part of our world. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Prime Minister.
All right, thank you, Deputy Speaker. Thank you along the opposition leader, member of Bloc Kiriwina Good Enough, for asking this series of questions, more so pertaining to the conduct of certain officials from mining department. I want to indicate that I have no visibility into that visit from mining department to the Good Enough Island, but the assurance to a good member for Kiriwina Good Enough and opposition leader, and any one of us for that matter, mining department or any government agencies must operate within the prescription of law. One law it talk long only make him or must make him. Whether engage one time landowners or engage one time district or provincial government or engage one time all investors. So to the people of Good Enough, no one will come with a bulldozer to bulldoze through your rights. Our people have the traditional and God-given right inherent to the area of living and locality. Nogat Mamba can force him yupla long. Don't give me making mining, now lose him place. We need mining explorations to happen. We need the mining industry to grow our country's economy, but it must be done with taking our people with us. This government believes in taking our people with us, and they must participate in any activities, whether it's mining, oil and gas, or any SME activities in our country. So full assurance to the member concerned, that I will check the mining department. As soon as I sit down, I will engage on my phone to check what has happened. I will give a full report to the member in writing. But assurance goes to the people of Good Enough that if people come, ask them, is my district informed? Is my province informed? Our national government has informed all national government officials that when you go to a province or district, engage with the provincial government and engage with the district, so that the public servants on the ground and leadership on the ground knows you and assist you get in contact with what you have to do in that area of our country. And Good Enough is no exception. Appreciate the serenity and the natural, pristine states of that island we want to preserve. But in any case, if the due process is run and if exploration is allowed to happen, and if resource is confirmed, whatever we do, we must do for the better of our people, so that their livelihood is preserved and sustained for the future. But I want to conclude by saying, Mr. Deputy Speaker, I have no information from on this where officers have visited the island. I will get further information, and I will send by way of a letter to the member. I will also indicate through a press release later on the issues that he's raised. To the people of Good Enough, we know you exist. Your island is a good island. If resources are found, we work together subject to your own approval as custodian of the resources and the land in the island. But in any case, before that happens, any contact from national departments to the province or district must be done with the full awareness of province and districts concerned. Thank you too much.
Member for Goroka.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Question belong me without notice go long. Hardworking Minister belong Civil Aviation again. Question belong me without notice, Mr. Deputy Speaker, concerning a land that is occupied by the civil authority in the middle of Goroka town. That land, section 3, allotment 18, 19, and 20. Mr. Deputy Speaker, as you know, Goroka town and Bibla ground Blumibla airport Kisim. And civil aviation also occupies the land that is surrounding the airport. So almost 40% of the entire state land in Goroka town is occupied by one government authority, which is the Civil Aviation Authority. So question below me, Mr. Deputy Speaker, this is the ground when me to talk land, Mr. Good Minister, I think you are fully aware of that land. It's currently used as a public bus stop and illegal settling by people who are moving in and out of the town. Question from me, Mr. Speaker, is when I'm plan below you, lo developing this ground and stop Namel Street inside the center of Goroka town. Do you have any plan for that land? Suppose you know a plan, enough you give this ground to people of Goroka. So me can walk in line with them town expansion plan below me na developing this ground. It's been sitting there for a long time now. The other question below me, Mr. Speaker, when I'm planning below you to Goroka Airport. Last time we've been asking former minister and I'm talking to him, airport and extend him. Is that captured in your plan going forward? And also, do you also plan to relocate the Goroka Airport? Because currently the town cannot expand because airport and stop Namel Street lo town give me the problem expansion. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
The Honourable Minister.
Mitok thank you long honorable member blog rock and thank you long good last him. Mi aram story lo ground na mi talking more line lo walk long end.
Honorable Minister, we have a point of order. Honorable member for Tewa CSC, what's your point of order?
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. Me just like clear him here past time. Maybe start with Minister of Housing, planted properties in the ground in some aerodrome areas, and owned by National Housing Corporation. At the moment, I understand that there's a court between NAC and National Housing Corporation regarding so. Question 1, meeting MB by subject law court is stopped. If Minister can respond to question 2, it's in the court. Thank you.
Honorable member, let me make a ruling on the point of order made by the member for Tewa CSC. Honorable Minister, let me get clarification from the clerk. Member, the chair and the clerk, we hasn't received any report on the court in related to the matter. I'll allow the minister to reply to the question if he aware of that court decision. He can refer that, and we can refer that to the matter that we have raised. So I'll allow the minister to respond to the question raised by member for Goroka.
All right, thank you, Deputy Speaker. This all land uses been planted staff, minum been surveyed until me come up minister na me look him. Every airport that me go, all by pulling me go lo side na, tok lo ground. Me sanap long point blow me. Any land that belongs to the civil aviation will never be sold, but by me lease him out. So time me are planted complain also me talk him online law, check him good na. By me play go. That's all no got specific question also. So maybe now that question come up, my team will have a report ready for the honorable member for Goroka. Relocation belong airport minoxin one bla report. Me been staff out time me bla been story legally lo movie me go lo ungai bena. Nakai no sem all like move me are more sem, but time me come inside me no are one blah story all same yet. So sampla legally all sem extension he come down long Mambun and this blah half all community staff na Highlands Highway run through. Emi hitting plenty brick all. I think you go to Goroka na you look him narabla half blah runway and all banisim yet na stop. This blah you saw narabla put him stop. He come down he got plenty of issues, so me not see many update. Maybe we some good update now by me can brief him, honorable member, into the Assembly now our next sitting or next tomorrow, next week, and we can respond good. Na kaino sem tasol. Arawa sem nubla tawa. Maybe like make him. I'm still inside now. I'm stop. All right. Only groundbreaking and work law. Defer stuff, but contractor, he keeps him close to long 20 million now, and by all put them Nubla tower with the latest technology, na can assemble help him airspace now, landing and taking off. Thank you.
Member for Usino Bundi.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Speaker, for recognizing the voice of the people of Usino Bundi and Gama. My questions without notice are directed to the Finance Minister and the Justice Ministers. On October 31st, a total of 1.1 million kina was garnished out of our DDOA account. Adding on to last year's, this would have totaled up to over 3 million kina. What annoys me is that it is a constitutional grant for the people, and as such, garnish orders must not be taken against DDA accounts or provincial government accounts, as it is directly affecting budgets for delivery of basic services to our people in Papua New Guinea. Mr. Deputy Speaker, while we have engaged our mayor to look into this, it is not only a matter it is not only a problem for Medellin districts alone. It is imperative that we look into this. You can be rest assured that what happened in Medellin sets a very bad case precedent for all districts across Papua New Guinea. This means that we have to do something. It is a matter of national significance, and this issue must be resolved with appropriate actions, with a sense of urgency. Given this, my questions are to the Justice Minister. Can we review the DDA Act and amend to incorporate a provision that exclusively immunes DDA accounts from any garnishee order proceedings going forward? Number two, there is a certain law firm in Medellin that is doing this. Can we inform the PNG Law Society from taking necessary actions to identify the law firm and do whatever that's necessary so that this shouldn't be done anymore? And also, the judge that is sitting on the bench and making such decisions should be also asked to reconsider his actions. To the Finance Minister, would you please advise?
Honourable Member.
Would you please?
Honourable Member, sorry for interrupting you. If you want to ask a question, you will only ask question to one minister, which the only one minister will respond to your question. So,
Deputy Speaker, I'll ask this to the Finance Minister, and the Minister for Attorney General will take note.
Yes,
thank you.
My
Sorry.
District Administrator.
Honourable, yeah. Go ahead. You will ask your question to the Finance Minister, and Minister for Justice, you take note on the question raised by the member.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. My District Administrator told me that he was not put on notice at least a week or two before the garnishee orders were taken and funds were being wired out of the account. Can we please serve a notice to banks so that they must be notified appropriately to make sure that district development authorities are being notified for any garnishee order proceedings against our account? Thank you.
The Honourable Minister for Finance.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. This is an important question asked by the member for Usino-Bundi, and I thank him for asking this pertinent question. The garnishee orders, this is not the first time that I'm hearing a garnishee order has been taken against a district DDA against the District Support Improvement Program funds, or DSIP funds. And so it is becoming quite prevalent in especially Medan province, and we are aware of about 3 or 4 DDAs so far in Medan and some parts of PNG as well. And so to answer the question from the good member for Usino-Bundi, what is a garnishee order? Garnishee orders are legal court orders. So it means that some of the DDAs have been taken to court. Whether the DDAs are aware of these court orders or not aware of that, that is the essence of this question that comes from the good member. And I believe that given that the good member is newly elected, it may pertain to the past chairman of the DDA, and so he may not be privy to some of the proceedings taken against the DDA board. Nevertheless, he should be well aware of this, and he also his district administrator should be aware of this. And so I think we need to firstly understand that garnishee orders can be taken against any individual, any company, or a corporate body. And I believe DDAs are corporate bodies that can be sued against, and they can also sue. And so that is how the garnishee order works in our country. Under the Income Taxation Act, as well as the Civil Proceedings Act, or Procedures Act, if my memory serves me right. But this is serious. These are public funds belonging to the people of Usino-Bundi, and they should rightfully go to the purpose that it's intended for, and that is to provide service and development in, Usino-Bundi. And so the good member is rightfully outraged that funds belonging to the people have been diverted through these garnishee orders. And so I would like to make sure that we get to the bottom of this, my good member. My department, through my secretary, we will conduct an inquiry into this one. From Department of Finance, from our end, we just remit the funds to the DDAs. Once the funds are remitted to the DDAs, they take full carriage of those public funds. And under the Public Finance Management Act, we can conduct inspections into these accounts. And so with the issue of funds legally or illegally remitted or removed without the knowledge of the DDA raises a lot of concerns, and we will be writing to the banks. The banks should also take some important steps in this regard. They have a duty of care to ensure that the good chairman of the DDAs, the good CEOs of those DDAs are notified in advance. Because, why can't you just, go ahead and remove millions and millions of funds from these DDAs without giving them the benefit of the doubt to know that some funds have been removed from their account? And so there's an obligation or duty of care for the banks to actually notify, and I think that should be done. It also raises the issue of the legitimacy of these garnishee orders. Are they done? Is this an elaborate scheme concocted by lawyers now, looking for means and ways to access public funds? Or should we find ways to defend the DDAs to ensure that these funds go to their intended purpose? And so my department, I will instruct my secretary and my department to conduct an inquiry into this, to establish the veracity of this practice, because this practice should not be happening in the first place. I think the practical approach, Mr. Deputy Speaker, is to look for this House to look at the possibility of amending the DDA Act to insulate public funds appropriated to DDAs so that they are not subject to the willy-nilly actions of law firms, removing monies without the knowledge of DDAs. And I think that's something that this House should seriously look at to prevent the illegal removal of public funds by law firms sneakily going to courthouses, obtaining garnishee orders without the knowledge of the chairman of these DDAs and their CEOs, and removing monies rightfully belonging to the people. Mr. Deputy Speaker, that is my contribution to answer the question. Thank you.
Honourable members, our question time has lapsed. I'm sorry I cannot entertain supplementary question. Honourable members, I acknowledge the presence of the public gallery, the political science student from the University of Papua New Guinea, and a student from West Sepik attending Papua New Guinea Education Institute here in Port Moresby. On behalf of the Parliament, I extend to them a warm welcome to Parliament. Honourable Minister for Health, that's your point of order.
Mr. Speaker, I seek leave to respond to the questions raised to me by Sir Puka Tuesday this week in Parliament.
Honourable Minister, you can seek a leave from me. You cannot raise that as a point of order. You have to stand and I can recognize you and you seek a leave from the chair. Seek leave from the chair.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, I seek leave of the chair.
Leave granted. Make your speech.
Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker. This week, during Parliament session, the member for Abao raised a few questions, and I'd like to take this time to respond to those questions, as I said this week. Firstly, with regard to public tender, Department of Health conducted the most recent public tender in July to August this year.
The tender covered 332 items from the national list of 428 essential items. 332 items were identified as per the procurement plan and were prioritized for public tender to meet the stock requirement to prevent disruption of supplies to our health system. To regard to purchase orders from the 332 items tendered.
Honourable Minister, we have a point of order from the member for Abao. Honourable Member for Abao.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. The first question is partly answered. The thrust of the question on the tender was, apart from this year's, my concern was there hasn't been a tender for quite a long time. And then I asked the Minister, not only give the recent one, when was the one that, the last one before this year's one?
Honourable Member, your point of order is in order. I think the Minister have just started in reply to your question, so it can be taken into consideration while the Minister is responding to the questions. Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. The last public tender was actually in 2018. That is the response. The recent one is July to August this year, as I've said. From the purchase orders, 332 items tendered, 177 medicines have been successfully awarded, and purchase orders have been issued to deliver as scheduled to commence in December this year, going towards the first quarter of next year. The remaining 155 items from the 332 are undergoing medicine quality assessment process as I speak today. This is vital safeguard measures to ensure that the medical supplies supplied through our system is safe for patients' consumption. With regard to outstanding payments to suppliers, to date, Mr. Deputy Speaker, the government has paid 182.3 million kina to suppliers. This includes the payment to the medical gases bottles, especially oxygen cylinders, to hospitals, and the distribution of medical supplies to our system. Outstanding payments, Mr. Deputy Speaker, from the medical supplies budget this year, we still have 57.2 million to be paid, and we're working closely with the Treasury to ensure that this payment is released in time. Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Thank you.
Papers, Minister for Justice and Attorney General.
Mr. Speaker, pursuant to a statute, I present the annual reports of the Parole Board of Papua New Guinea for the years 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, and 2021. Mr. Speaker, I ask the Leader of the Parliament to make a statement in connection with the reports.
Is leave granted? Leave granted. Make your speech.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, members of this Honourable House, it is with great pleasure that I present to this House, Honourable House, the outstanding Parole Service annual reports for the years 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, and 2021. Presentation of these annual reports, this Honourable House, is consistent with the mandatory requirement under Section 19 of the Parole Act 1991. Mr. Speaker, the idea of outstanding parole system as a mechanism to address the treatment
the prisoners released on parole and provide for social rehabilitation and reintegration of the offenders was first initiated by then Minister for Justice through a policy recommendation. This policy recommendation resulted in the enactment of the Parole Act in Parliament in 1991. The Parole Act is basically allows for prisoners to be released from prison on parole through a detailed prison inquiry report. A report is then presented before the parole board, who is entrusted with the power under the Act to ascertain whether or not prisoner or prisoners are suitable for release. The board also is set as a release of license committee for Section 615 of the Criminal Code and deliberates on applications for release on license and parole supervision. The parole supervision regards from 5 years and beyond, depending on the eligibility, calculation of date. Mr. Speaker, over the years, parole service has seen as an increase in government financial support for administrative and operational functions. The support does not, however, fully cater for the implementation of the core functions of managing, rehabilitating, and reintegrating prisoners back into our communities as productive citizens. As after care of prisoners is still a gray area in both the parole and probation services that also require our level of policy and financial support and assistance. Mr. Speaker, consistent with Section 9 of the Parole Act, this year, 2017, saw a total of 219 prisoners in prison institutions nationwide eligible for parole. From this total of 117 of them were granted parole and released into our communities under the supervision of the parole service, whilst 90 were refused parole. There was no breach of reported for the year, which means those released complied with the conditions set by the parole board. The year also saw a constructive of offenders applying for parole from Bomana being the highest, followed by the Chimbu, Mount Hagen, and then Caravet in Robal, Lakimata in Kimbe, and Vanimo. Mr. Speaker, the 2018 report So, amongst other achievements, the review and amendment of the Parole Act 2019. The amendment included the increase of the parole eligibility term from 1/3 to half of the head sentence requirements. For instance, this amendment requires a person convicted to 6 years imprisonment to serve 3 years imprisonment before he can be eligible for parole. Previously, he could have served only 2 years in prison and he is eligible for parole. This amendment was done as a deterrence measure on offenders. The amendment also catered for breaches to be applied in instances of non-compliance to conditions set in the release orders. This means that where a prisoner released and supervised on license orders breaches one or more conditions of these release orders, probation and parole offenders have the power to institute a breach complaint, which potentially results in offenders being sent back to prison to serve his full term. Breaches were never part of the previous legislative framework until the changes in 2018. Mr. Speaker, the 2029 annual report recorded the implementation of the amendment to the Parole Act. Implementation included awareness to the accredited population within prisons. A total of 890 prisoners in Bomana prison. Add about the new amendments, which included the new parole eligibility criterion. The total of 8 training and workshops were conducted for correctional services, probation and parole staff in Port Moresby, Kavieng, Barawaki, Basu, Bio, and Daru. Mr. Speaker, in 2020, the annual report documented the establishment of a new parole board under the 2018 amendments. The new board under the new chairman took parole service responsibilities seriously for the first time since the enactment of the Parole Act in 1991. The new board introduced a new parole eligibility processing system. The new system requires the parole board to
face-to-face interviews with the offender and his family. The victim and his family leaders of the communities were aware an offender organized form. And these interviews are conducted in respective prison institutions in the 4 regions of the country. The parole eligibility processing system promotes key principles of our Melanesian restorative justice system of correction on the part of the offender, forgiveness on the part of the victims and his family, and healing and acceptance by all parties imparted by the crime committed. The processing system has proven to be effective in reducing the number offender and breaches, promotes harmonious relations between the offender and the victims' families, and created a safe space for actual remorse and healing to occur. Here also saw that parole service in partnership with Bomana Correctional Service prepared 14 death penalties files, and which was submitted to the Power of Mercy Committee. The outcome saw 13 prisoners with a death sentence granted life imprisonment, except for one. Mr. Speaker, 2021 annual report captured the success of the parole eligibility processing system of mandatory face-to-face interviews with prisoners, victims, and their relatives. The new 2021 documented combined a total of 332 prisoners before the parole board hearing on this. 295 were males and 37 females, a total of 299 victims, and 33 of them were prisoners' relatives. The here reported only 2 breaches, which resulted in the parolees being sent back to prison to complete their full term. The year 2021 annual report also featured emerging trends of an increase in human rights cases. These matters were filed by the prisoners in the National Court seeking parole from the court as a relief, enforcement of human rights breaches, and compelling the parole board to hear their application. The parole board maintains that parole is an administrative system managed by the Parole Service of Papua New Guinea under the Department of Justice and Attorney General, and applicants need to use this administrative process only. Mr. Speaker, I now commend the Parole Service Annual Report for years 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, and 2021 to this Honourable House. Thank you.
Leader of Government Business.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, I move that the Parliament take note of the papers and the debate be adjourned and made an order of day for a subsequent sitting.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favour say aye. Aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Leader of Government Business.
Mr. Speaker, I ask leave of Parliament to move a motion without notice.
The question is that the motion. Honourable members, leave granted.
Aye.
Leader of Government Business.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the Parliament adjourn until Tuesday, 25th of November, 2025 at 2 p.m.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favour say aye. Aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Honourable members, we have no with a division, and the division has been seconded. Therefore, the Parliament will take a vote on the question that has been raised. No. Adjournment of the motion will be taken on vote. So, honourable members, those in favour of the honourable members, those in favour, honourable members, let me get clarification from the clerk. Honourable members, as I have stated earlier, that the motion have, Honourable Prime Minister, honourable members, the division has been seconded. We're going to take a vote on the motion that has been seconded. Honourable members, those in favour. Honourable members, the motion was for the Parliament to adjourn till 2 o'clock p.m. on Tuesday. And I have asked for ayes and no, and the noes have division, and the division has been seconded, which means the Parliament will now take a vote. Honourable member, take your seat. While the Speaker is making a statement, I ask you to resume your seat. Honourable member, I have asked you to resume your seat. You know the standing order very clearly. When the chair, honourable member, it is made a statement in related to the previous decision. So I'll ask for you, if you can resume your seat, and after I make a clarification on the votes, then you can raise your point of order. I've asked you to resume your seat. Like I've made it clear that the Parliament, the Leader of Government Business has made a motion that the Parliament be adjourned to 2 p.m. on Tuesday, which the motion has been asked for a question, and the Parliament have asked, the Speaker have asked for yes and no, which the noes have a division called, and it have a seconded on that. Therefore, the Chair made a decision that the Parliament will take a vote on the motion that has been, on the division that has been called. And that is the decision now that I'm going to take. Honourable Member for Aba, what's your point of order?
There is a convention. Convention is, unless Parliament adjourns for 2 weeks, we can come back at 2 p.m. on the Tuesday. That's a convention. You cannot just go on 1 week and you come back on a Tuesday afternoon. Should be 10 a.m.
Or tomorrow.
No.
Honourable Member, your point of order, in reply to your point of order, the motion that the Leader of Government Business, the motion is on the alternation of the day and the hour of the sitting, in line with the standing order. That is why we also have the budget presented on Tuesday, which on the tradition that the budget be presented at 2 o'clock, and that the alternation of the motion was to adjourn Parliament to 2 p.m., which the motion have agreed. So your point of order is out of order. Honourable member for Wabek, what's your point of order?
As a matter of decorum, Deputy Speaker, I just want to remind you, point of order, Standing Order Section 94 says that any member at any times may raise in the form of a question a point of order. Until disposed of, a point of order suspends the consideration and decision of every other question. Plenty time long floor. When we are raising point of order, you people are ruling against us. A point of order should suspend every other consideration on the floor. I'm just reminding the Chair. This Laos, I'm come up with some Laos roll clowns. You may must start putting some of the decorum concerns Laos. Thank you.
Honourable members, there's no one time the Speaker of Parliament have rejected a point of order. Every time when you members of Parliament call for a point of order, the question has been, the minister or whoever made the statement have been stopped to allow for a point of order. That has been entertained in every session of Parliament. So, Honourable Member, thank you for bringing that up. It will be noted, and as Parliament have always been practiced, as you stated very clear on the point of order, and that is always been practiced. Honourable members, we now will take vote on the division that has been raised on Parliament. Those in favour of the Parliament to be adjourned to 2 p.m. on Tuesday, please stand. Honourable member. Order. Honorable members. Honorable member for Erie, what's your point of order?
Speaker, I've just come into Parliament this term. There's only been at least, I could count, about 3 or 4 occasions when grievance debate was heard. I think it's, we should respect our people, and I'm just seeking the indulgence of
Honorable,
we should come back tomorrow. People are probably going to need to hear grievances of their people. Tomorrow is the right time. Not everybody in the front bench or the government are going to go and fix the budget. The treasurer is not here, he's doing his job.
Honorable member, your statement is clear. I think I've already made a decision. You have already called for a division in the reason that you have said. So your division has been seconded and it will now be taken on the floor of Parliament. If they voted in favor of the division that has been called, the Parliament can be adjourned to tomorrow for that. But therefore, honorable members, I now ask on the floor those in favor of the division of no. Those in favor of the division of no may stand. Order. The Speaker have asked you to stand and show your vote, not to stand and talk. Those against the division of no stand. Order. Honorable members, according to the standing order also, when you take your stand, it's not a meeting place for you to turn around and talk to your colleague member while the vote is on. So, removed. Honourable members, the result of the division as follows. Those in favour of the noes division is 11 and those against 51. Leader of Government Business.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, before I finish, I just want to say that the good member for Warbeck brought up Section 94 of the standing orders. He forgot to mention the third paragraph, which I should remind all parliamentarians. If a member persistently raises points of order unnecessarily and in a manner that disturbs the proceedings of Parliament, the Speaker may withdraw the member's privilege to raise points of order for the remainder of the day. So the With that, Mr. Speaker, I move that the Parliament adjourn until Tuesday, 25th of November, 2025 at 2 p.m.
The question is, those in favour say aye. The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favour say aye. And those against say no. Ayes have it. Honourable members, I now adjourn Parliament until Tuesday, 25 at 2 o'clock p.m.